what's up? And welcome to another video. This is episode 3 or 4.
Is it 4? No.
I'm trying to think. I think it's 4.
It is 4. I think you're right.
Because we did
First one.
WWDC,
Right.
AI.
And then Samsung.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is episode 4 of Tech Bro Talk.
Tech Bro Talk.
Yeah. We're talking pixels today.
Dude, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
The event was great.
Yeah.
We saw some of the leaks a few weeks ago. We talked about it. I know we talked about the Pixel Fold when we had the review for the Samsung
Z Fold.
The Z Fold.
The Z Fold 6.
But I think I remember seeing renders, and we talked about that a few weeks ago in the last episode for the podcast.
Yes.
And a lot of it turned out to be true, which is, I mean, it was good. I liked the design back then, and I like it now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see it officially being out there, you know?
Yeah. So Google announced a lot of stuff, hardware and software. I'm most excited about the 9 Pro Fold, right?
Yeah.
Foldables,
of course, yeah.
Foldables are a lot of fun. But we have, if I'm not mistaken, 4 phones. Yes, Pixel 9, 9 Pro, which is now new.
Right.
Because now there's a 9 Pro.
Oh, because
and a 9
of the
Pro
sizes.
XL.
That's true.
Yep.
That's
so there's
true.
2 sizes for the Pro phones now. And then, of course, there's the 9 Pro Fold.
Nice.
Yeah, which Google
What a
updated.
lineup.
Yeah, Google updated the naming convention for their Fold now to like bring it in line with their Pro line, right? So I think they're doing they're not doing exactly what Samsung does, because Samsung will do like an S and then an S Ultra, and then later in the year they do their Flip and their Fold. I think Google
with
is
the
just
Z.
gonna,
I gotcha.
yeah, and I think,
That makes
but I think
sense.
Google is just gonna do all of them at once now.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they did the naming convention that way. They did more features coming to Gemini AI, which is really cool. And then 2 watches, same watch, but like 2 different sizes, right?
Gotcha.
Previous Pixel watches only came in 1 size. Now there's 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Pixel Buds Pro 2nd generation, which Google is taking some like notes from Apple.
Of course.
Apple has their own proprietary chip for their AirPods Pro.
Right.
And this is going to be the 1st generation that Google has their own proprietary Tensor chip
For headphones.
for the headphones,
Earphones, yeah.
with like Gemini built in and everything. So we have a lot. We have a lot to talk about.
That's great. I'm excited.
Yeah. Where do you want to start? Pixels, like the
So
phones?
I mean, let's do Pixels. I am curious though, because now we have 4 phones on the lineup, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to the price range, if I remember correctly, they start at $799,
Yes, for the 9.
but they do go all the way to close to $2,000 for the fold. Right.
The fold starts. The fold starts at $1,799.
Right.
$1,800.
Which is a pretty high range
Yeah.
when it comes to a lineup. I think you compare that to Apple, and they have the SE to the Pro Max, and that's a $500 difference. This is $1,000.
Yeah. Now, mind you, and I have the Google Store website up on my phone right now, but they still have 7A, they still have 8A.
Oh, so that's even cheaper.
Which are their budget phones, yeah.
Right.
So the 8A right now is $500 on the Google Store website, and the 7A is. Bear with me 1 second. The 7A is. Are they also $500? Both of them say starting at $499.
Why would you get the older one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Marketing.
Yeah, but there are phones that's sub 500
Right.
categories. So they got phones all the way from like $500 all the way up to almost $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and they still do have, mind you, they still have the 8 and the 8 Pro available for purchase too. So if you didn't want to buy
Like the
this year's
latest,
models, you could buy last year's, hopefully
Interesting.
on discount.
Are they gonna keep them so they're always available for the whole year, or are they just selling what's left over on their stock and inventory?
I have no idea.
Because Apple does that, right? Apple will release a new phone, for example, the 16 this coming fall,
Yeah.
and
They'll kill the 15s right away.
but they
won't
still
they?
have them on their store until they're sold out. So it'll be per store inventory. So if you look at like purchase online, it won't ship to you, but if you do pick up, it'll let you know if there's any stores nearby that
So
still
this is
have
kind
them.
of different because you can buy these and ship them to your house.
Dang,
Yeah, like you should be able to still go buy an 8 Pro and then you can ship it to your house.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, so 9, you're right, starts at $799. 9 Pro, like the now smaller sized Pro model,
Right.
starts at $999.
Okay.
And then 9 Pro XL starts at $1,099, so $100 more.
Dang.
How does that compare to the iPhones? Like the Do you know off the top of your head?
Oh man, if I remember,
Like, what does the 15 Pro start at?
the 15 Pro, it's $999,
Okay.
and I think they bumped up to $100 on the Pro Max, so that's $1,200, $1,199. If you do the normal 15, yeah, it's $200 difference.
That's $200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do the normal 15, that one's $800,
So same price.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can get into the 9 Pro XL for $100 cheaper than you could get into a 15 Pro Max.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. But yeah, no, I'm most excited for the Pro Fold, which when we did our review on the Z Fold 6,
Yep.
we had several people leave comments in terms like in support of
The change.
the thinner display on the outside, right?
Right,
And I
right.
understand, like some people left comments, they were like, well, it works for me because like it's just easier to use the phone one-handed, so I don't mind the thinner screen.
And that's a fair argument. I think that's valid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part is fine. But if you watch Google's keynote specifically,
Right.
when they're talking about the 9 Pro Fold,
Yep.
they say when it's closed, the screen size is the same as the regular 9 Pro, the
Right.
smaller Pixel 9 Pro. What have I been saying for the longest time? I'm
You
like,
want
I
it to
just
be a
want
functional-
Samsung Z
yeah.
Fold. It doesn't have to be the size of the Ultra because that would be a massive foldable.
Right. Right.
But make it the size of like an S24 or like an S24 Plus.
Just a usable format.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? And Google literally used those exact words. They're like, when it's closed, it's the same screen size as the 9 Pro, and it's the same thinness as the 9 Pro as well.
And I think that's the key about a foldable phone, because it's great when you have that real estate and you have the ability to do things that normally you won't be able to do on a
Yeah.
normal phone, right?
Yeah.
But what if there's times, let's say that I have one, what if there's times that I just don't want to have this humongous piece of tech and use that? What if I just want to pull out my phone and in a smaller screen type something real quick and put it
Exactly.
away instead of folding it out and then like typing,
Yeah.
whatever it is, right? That's what it should look like.
Yeah.
I think you should be able to have a foldable phone that when closed, it's a fully functional phone that doesn't need to be expanded
Yeah.
for anything.
Yeah.
But if you want to, the option's right there.
That's the whole point of like a futuristic category like that, right?
Right. It's like a 2-in-1.
It's supposed to
Yeah.
give you a 2-in-1 smartphone experience.
Yeah.
The idea being, because they're so expensive, $1,800.
Yeah.
The idea being that there should be no compromises in the experience.
Yeah.
Right? So you should, when the phone is closed, you should have a traditional smartphone experience. It shouldn't be like a narrower version. You can't
Right.
go anywhere right now
Right.
and buy a regular smartphone that has as thin, narrow display as the Z Fold 6.
Right, right.
That's not a regular smartphone
Right.
experience anymore. It was back in the day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's not anymore. So, and even Google mentioned that in their keynote. They're like, when this phone is closed, you have a traditional smartphone experience. It feels, they literally said like it feels just like a regular phone.
Right.
And then it unfolds to an 8-inch display, which I think is the largest that we've seen on a foldable so far.
Dang.
I'm stoked.
That's huge.
I am really stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it'll be good. It'll be good. I'm excited. I like the competition. I like to see one company do better than the other because that drives the first one to do better. You know what I'm saying?
Well, interestingly enough, if you remember the first generation Pixel Fold, I don't think we got a unit to review. But the first generation Pixel Fold, it was more so like a passport. It was like shorter than a smartphone, but it was wider.
Oh, I gotcha.
Right? So like it was a very unique experience in and of itself, right?
Right.
Now they've switched it up to where it resembles like the OnePlus Open, which I love.
It was the best foldable last year.
I love that phone.
Arguably the best smartphone period of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's cool.
And that's going to come with like the Fold is going to come with all of like Google's image processing and stuff like that, which I know that in the event they mentioned that they're going to start using AI more for like
Doesn't surprise me.
combination of like shadows and like white balance and stuff to give you like really
Right.
really nice photos and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But you know what's interesting is that the camera system on the 9 Pro Fold is different than the camera systems like on the 9 Pro.
And is it better?
That
We'll have to see once we test it.
We're gonna have to see once we get it, right?
Gotcha.
But they use, from my understanding, like slightly different. There's a compare option here, and I'll let you know. So we're gonna compare the 9 Pro Fold to the 9 Pro.
Okay.
This is so cool. External display, 6.3 inch. Display on the 9 Pro, 6.3 inch.
Yeah.
Same size. Like that. Both of them, 20:9 aspect ratio. Chef's kiss emoji.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right there. In and of itself. Let's see. 120 hertz on the outside, 1800 nits on the outside for the Fold. 4,650 milliamp hour battery versus 4,700, so very, very close to the same battery size as the 9 Pro.
Gotcha. I mean, it's a little less than the standard of 5,000 milliamps, but it's a little bit better.
Yeah, the industry standard, quote unquote. Yeah. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. So Google even uses different verbiage. So for the 9 Pro, it says Pro triple rear camera system, 50 megapixel wide, 48 megapixel ultra wide with macro.
Okay.
And 48 megapixel 5x telephoto. Okay.
Okay.
Super res zoom up to 30 times. And optical quality at 0.5x, 1x, 2x, 5x, and 10x.
Right.
Okay. That's the 9 Pro.
Okay.
Now here's the 9 Pro Fold. 48 megapixel wide.
Yeah.
And it says advanced triple rear camera system, not Pro triple rear camera system.
Probably not as good.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet they're pulling this part. I don't like that they're pulling a Samsung.
Yeah.
Where if you want the best camera, you go for the traditional slab phone.
Yeah.
But if you want a phone that kind of does everything, you go for.
I can't imagine because, if you get to meet the executive officer of the company that makes those decisions, he probably has an excuse of like, well, because of all the tech that we're building in on a foldable phone, they wouldn't have the space. How much space do you need for a camera that's slightly better?
The chief technology officer can just afford to have both of the phones.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Steve Jobs would have made it happen even if it meant killing someone, dude.
Yeah. So let's see. 48 megapixel wide compared to 50 megapixel wide, right? 10.5 megapixel ultra wide with macro as opposed to 48 megapixel ultra wide with macro.
Gotcha.
I don't know why 10.5.
Right.
And then the telephoto is also kind of strange. 10.8 megapixel, 5x telephoto lens instead of 48 megapixel, 5x telephoto lens.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Super res zoom up to 20x instead of 30x.
30, yeah.
And then optical quality at 0.5, 1x, and 5x. So no 2 or 10.
Dang.
That's very different.
Right.
So I don't know if Google is just banking on we're going to use AI to just make all the photos fantastic regardless of which phone you use.
Yeah, but even then, if you're paying $1,800, I mean, it's the same argument. It's the same argument.
That's exactly what I say on the Z Fold 2. If you're going to spend close to $2,000,
yeah,
it should have the best of everything. Just give it the same exact camera system.
Right.
And then you let people choose.
Right.
Do you want the foldable or do you want the traditional slab phone?
Because that should be the main difference. It shouldn't be, oh, do you want a better camera system? But now you got to sacrifice it. You can't be foldable anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Which I still use the S24 Ultra. It's fantastic.
Right.
And I like it better than the Z Fold 6.
Yeah.
Right? But if you were to adjust the screen on a Z Fold 6, but then give it the same camera system, then yeah, I'd probably lean towards that one. But that doesn't mean everybody would.
Right.
Not everyone wants that price tag.
Right.
Most people don't even want the $1,200 price tag that comes with like ultra flagship phones, you know?
Yeah. Can you upgrade? Can you customize and upgrade the Google Fold, the Pixel Fold?
What do you mean?
Like increase the storage?
Yes.
So you can easily make it over $2,000 then.
Good question. Yeah. So, memory is the same. Like RAM is the same. 16 gigs. If you get a Pro phone, 16 gigs of RAM. Some of that boost is because of all the Gemini features coming, right?
Gotcha.
So that's one thing.
You have to be scanning all your information in the background.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, the 9 Pro line, like just the slab phone, still starts at 128 gigabytes of storage.
That's
maybe
an Apple move, bro.
Maybe they're just thinking if you pre-order the phone, they give you 2 terabytes of storage on their Google One plan. So that's one thing, right? Google Photos, if you do the backup option, it backs up your photos like high quality or whatever onto the cloud, so it's not saved onto your phone.
Right.
So maybe they're just thinking like a lot of your storage on the phone would just come down to the apps you use. But even then, it's just like $800 for 128.
Yeah.
I don't know about
2024.
That. What do the iPhone 15 start at?
128.
Oh shoot.
That's what I'm saying. It's an Apple move.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, Samsung doesn't do this yet, but
Samsung starts at 256.
Right.
Most times when you pre-order, they give you a free bump to 512.
yeah. So that's what I'm
That's
saying.
where it's at.
That's what I'm saying.
You know
Like,
what I mean?
usually
We need
Apple
to take
is
bits and pieces from all these companies. If someone takes the good parts of all of this and does it, they'd have a supreme smartphone package like for someone to order.
that'd be wild, bro.
Right?
How would you build up your perfect phone?
You take so like here's the thing. You take well, I guess it just depends on the
I've
operating
heard this
system.
before.
Yeah, it just depends on the operating system. But like, all you would have to do in my experience, I want the 9 Pro Fold, right?
Right.
Just give it the same camera system as the 9 Pro, and then whenever it comes to your storage and configuration, match what Samsung does. Start at 256. If you pre-order, you get a free upgrade to 512,
Right.
and then you're set. But interestingly enough, on the 9 Pro Fold, those are your only two storage options, 256 and 512. So no 1 terabyte on the folding device, which at least we can say the Z Fold 6 has. And now OnePlus dropped like a refreshed version of their Open, the red one. That one has now the option to bump to 1 terabyte as well for storage.
Wow. I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but it's interesting. The fact that they're not,
again, at that expensive.
yeah.
If you're gonna spend like $2,000, I would hope it has a terabyte.
Especially someone that, let's say, wants to make it last and invest a lot of money on a phone they want to keep for 3-4 years. You do want to get a lot of storage.
Yeah, so I feel like most people are gonna go for 512.
Right.
I actually, obviously, like we have a pre-order coming in.
Right. The review unit.
I did go with 512.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
Who would have thought?
Got it up here. I went with 512. But I will say, so the 512, Google offered me $700 for my 8 Pro, my Pixel 8 Pro.
Oh, dang.
$700. So they got the memo in terms of like aggressive trade-in prices too.
Right.
Yeah.
Then they going all out then.
$700. So the 9 Pro Fold starts at $1,800.
Huh.
512 is out of stock now.
Does that usually happen on a Google?
I've seen it happen in the past, but I'm amazed that the 512 option, $1,919. 512 Obsidian. I went with the black one, like the black color. It looks. They only have two options. They're like porcelain and obsidian.
Oh, okay.
But they're basically black and white. Like, look at those colors. There's porcelain.
Oh, yeah.
Right, and then there's obsidian.
Oh, nice.
That's dope. That's fresh, right?
Yep.
So I went with obsidian, 512, and that one's out of stock. The porcelain color, the white one, is out of stock entirely. I just checked it. Out of stock in both storage options for pre-order.
So either
Insane.
they're pulling an Apple marketing strategy where they make limited units,
very limited units,
just so they can increase demand later.
Yeah.
Or they're actually really successful with this release,
Yeah.
which hasn't even been a week.
Yeah. Now I've seen a lot of like Android journalists, right, publish articles, and so far, the experience with the 9 Pro Fold has been very, very positive.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's been, yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, man, that Cyclops looking phone, it's great. I like it.
Yeah.
I do like their design. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, but because it's odd, right? It's not the classical smartphone with the cameras in the corner, like that visor looking thing for the camera system.
Yeah, and you know what? They're
cool.
sticking with it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
With it.
They can pull it off, and I'm all for it because it does look great with the color schemes that they're choosing for their phones with that design.
Yeah.
It's working.
This isn't even the Cyclops one, but that looks so clean.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The 9 Pro Fold has like a squarish unit in the corner, whereas like all the other ones have
the
visor.
Wide,
yeah, the visor. So that's the 9 Pro Fold. 9, or should we talk about 9 Pro? 9?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be like your entry level Pixel.
Right.
Starts at $800 for 128 gigs of storage. That bothers me to say.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Comes in 4 colors: pink, green, white, black.
Okay.
Of course, like the colors are more complicated on the website. So pink is peony. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Bro, I don't know. Is
Peony? I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce it. It's like a lightish pink, or like a hot pink almost.
Pinky?
Winter green?
Actually, you got to say it right.
What?
Winter green.
Did I not say that?
No, you did.
Okay. I was like, what did I say? Porcelain and obsidian, which are they're white and black. I'm looking at some of the specs right now. 1080p display, Uh, variable refresh rate display 60 to 120. That's good. 1800 nits max brightness. 6.3 inch actual display. So it's like it's gonna be your,
It's a base model phone.
Yeah.
12
gigs of RAM, 128 gigs, or 256 gigs. You can't go further than that. Google Tensor G4. So at least they're all coming with the same. Which that's interesting, actually. I just thought about that. There's no Tensor G4 and like G4 Pro.
Right.
I bet you that comes in like a year or two. Where like the Pro models, like what Apple does.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Which Apple used to be the same way. Like now with Google, they used to have the same chip across all the lineup.
Yeah.
Whether it was a Pro or non-Pro model.
Yeah.
But they got greedy.
Google is only 4 generations into making their own.
Which is crazy to think about. I think that's a really good point because this is only the 4th iteration of a Pixel.
That has like their own chips in it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of like their built-in Android hardware and software.
It started with like the 5, right? Because like remember we had like Pixel 2, like the panda-looking pixels.
Right.
Those were
old Pixels aimed really high, but I don't think they really hit. If I remember correctly, the camera was the only good thing about the smartphones back then.
Yeah. Well, and then it's like you got like stock Android, but it was just like
it was very basic.
Yeah.
I think now with Gemini, with their Tensor chip, basically like the Android version of an iPhone.
Yeah.
They're
which
business is booming, baby.
Google is not playing it as petty as Apple could, because I feel like if Apple had something like Gemini, obviously they're going to make it an iPhone exclusive. A lot of the new cool features that are coming to Gemini are also going to roll out on like Samsung phones and like other.
Yeah, well, they probably have a deal or something like that because if they're using their system, they gotta be able to allow those.
Like I have Gemini on both my S24 Ultra and my iPhone, so it's just like, I get it, but at the same time, it's tough. Like you got to strike a balance, right? Like obviously, you want to develop your own really cool stuff to make people want to buy your phone, which I'm sure like their image processing and stuff like that will be on the Pixel. Right. But then at the same time, I kind of want to see what like aggressive Google would look like, where they're like, we're developing all these really cool things with artificial intelligence, and if you want it, you have to buy a Pixel.
Which I think in a sense it's I don't know practically what it looks like, but I'm assuming it's something like that already, just because this is a built-in assistant, an artificial intelligence assistant on the phone. If you have a Samsung or any other Android phone, it's an additional system that you're putting on their modified Android version, if that makes sense. Because Samsung has AI, but they have their own version of AI. And if you want to get Gemini, you can, but it's not going to be as integrated as it would be on a Pixel.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly that. So obviously like Samsung has their own, what do they call it? Like it's advanced intelligence or something like that, right? Like it's the name that they have in their settings for it. They don't actually call it, I don't think they call it artificial intelligence.
Why? People do that too much, bro.
They call it advanced intelligence.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's a tab called advanced intelligence. Those are like built into the Samsung apps.
Right.
And then like you said, you can download Gemini and you'll be good.
Right.
But you're right. The Google Pixel, the 9 series, is going to be the first Pixel lineup of smartphones that when they launch, Google Assistant has officially been defaultly replaced by Gemini.
Wow.
Because like they're aiming to make Gemini now the assistant, right?
The main one.
Yeah.
That's
you can change it if you want.
Right.
Like on my Pixel 8 Pro, it came with Google Assistant by default. But then once Gemini launched and like hit all the phones, I had the option to like change it. Like even on my Galaxy, the voice assistant on here is Gemini.
Right, because who likes Bixby?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's fair, right? I would change it on my iPhone too if I could, because
Siri right now.
Who likes that? So, but on the 9 series of smartphones, it's gonna launch with Gemini as the assistant by default. Which I mean, like if you watch the keynote, some of the things that Gemini can now do because of the way it integrates with like all of Google apps is crazy. They showed an example of someone seeing a concert poster, taking a photo of it, and then asking Gemini, is my calendar open whenever this artist is in town?
Oh, I saw that, bro.
Yeah.
I saw the fail.
Yeah, they failed.
Big bro, I'm telling you, bro. If Steve Jobs was there, that guy would have gone fired.
They failed a couple times. Yeah. So I gotta give them some credit though. Some of like all of the demos that they were doing was live on stage instead of like pre-recorded.
Which I do miss that. I'll give him a big respect, because that's the one thing I miss about Apple keynotes is the fact that they used to be live. There was something special about seeing everything just happen
live
in the moment, right? Yeah.
Now everything that Apple does event-wise has already been pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Crazy camera angles, drone shots, pan shots, like all sorts of.
Freaking Tim Cook pulling a Mission Impossible, like bro, like.
Was that Tim or was that Craig?
Who's the one that came down? Who's the one that came down on the zip line?
I thought that was Craig.
When they first announced M1 coming to the iPad, it was like a year or two ago, or actually maybe more.
I'm thinking one of the more recent events.
No, the one it's like
where they showed like
parkour,
Craig, like jumping on the stairs, or like he was doing.
You're not that guy, Paul. Yeah. You're not that
guy. yeah, and you could tell in some of the shots, you're like, wow, that's either.
Bro, no, there's one shot that like they show the face and it's not him.
It's not him, yeah.
It's kind of like a scary movie. Do you remember the scary movies?
Yeah.
And they were so exaggerated to the point that you can see that it's like a freaking doll, like a rag doll or something like that. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Exactly.
They were embracing the cringe.
Those are all the Apple events now. So,
yeah, they're not as funny as they are, and they're very memeable, if that's a word.
Memeable, yeah.
Yeah, memeable. They're not what they used to be.
But yeah, no, I give Google credit for at least trying the stuff on stage.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it showed like the demo was you take a picture of a concert poster, ask Gemini if you're free whenever the concert's in town. So Gemini is multimodal, right? In terms of like it's not just a large language model, it can also process like images and stuff like that too.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's able to take a look at the image, figure out when, like look at the date to figure out when the person is in like this specific city you're asking about.
Gotcha.
And then whenever you say, am I free on that day, it can also jump into your Google Calendar and see what you have going on and be like, no,
it's like using a lot of variables and making sure that everything's matching and pulling from a lot of sources.
There was another example of someone watching a YouTube video where they were talking about like various like food places to go to or like different foods to try. And then at the end, you can ask Gemini to like summarize all of the foods that were in the video, and it can list all of them.
See that
by just going through and looking at the transcription of the video.
I think that's very practical.
Can you imagine like instead of like I wonder how that's going to affect content creators, right? Because like, can you imagine if you just open a video and then just ask Gemini to summarize it for you, and it just spits out a summary?
Yep.
Like 30 seconds, you're like, boom, cool, close video, no view for you. You know
I was gonna say those tutorials, meal preps, whatever you want to do that's instructional.
Yeah.
Yep. You get that summary, bro. You don't even have to get the full transcript.
Exactly.
But that's the one thing I'll give when it comes to using your AI assistant as something that's super integrated. Because, for example, the concert one, sure, that's cool. It's great. But I feel like, why don't you just open your calendar app?
Yeah, it's more so like, so you're talking more so like the speed of how it processes.
Right, things that you can't do. Like you can't type that quick. You can't watch the whole video and come up with a summary and bullet points and everything in the time that the AI comes up with. But for the concert thing, it probably doesn't take much longer for you to be like, oh, calendar, when do they come? These dates? Let me look and see my calendar. Oh yeah, we're good. I can go. That's a big difference in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I am curious how foolproof it will be because we saw it fail, so I hope it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, which I don't know if that's like a device thing or like what happened, because as soon as the guy picked up a new device, it worked.
Right.
So I have no idea what happened in that moment.
Because what are the odds that the one device that's not compatible or it's just glitchy like that happens to be the one they're using for a demo?
Yeah.
Or it's just something that's more common and it's going to be seen a lot where you try to use the AI and it's not as good as they claimed it to be.
Yeah.
Which we'll see. We'll test it out. Clarify, we do have these products coming. We're going to test them out.
Yep.
We're going to tell you.
Yeah.
We're going to tell you. Subscribe. Anyways,
subscribe.
Please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. No, so... And then there was also, you know how one of my, and I've mentioned this in like all of our Pixel reviews, one of my favorite features is the call screening.
Oh, and that's been a thing for Google Pixels for a while.
Yeah.
But they just keep making it better and better.
I was just about to say, now they're adding call notes, which is really cool.
Interesting.
And they did also mention that a lot of the processes that are like considered more personal, like for example, call notes, if you're going to use Gemini to respond to a text message, So there's an iteration called Gemini Nano, which is device-based. It's also multimodal, but it's device-based, meaning that like when it processes, none of the information goes outside your phone. Oh,
it's local.
It's local to your phone, right? So call notes, let's say you're talking to somebody, you can enable call notes. And while you're having the conversation, Gemini is transcribing and like taking notes based on who said what happened. And then when the call is done, it gives you a summary of how the call went.
Call is being recorded for quality purposes. That's
wild. But like personally
on your phone,
now.
on your own phone.
And you're right, because when you call like a customer service center, they let you know that your call might be recorded.
Right.
When you do call notes, it lets everyone on the call know that
it is being recorded.
Yeah.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Or at the very least, like there's an AI model listening and taking down notes.
There's going to be so many people that are not going to be for this though. I feel like there's so many people that are just very, even now, they're very hesitant when it comes to social media and putting your data out there.
Yeah.
But now having it in your phone where it's always scanning and looking and listening and it's, we talked about this, but it's going to be a curve for a lot of people. And I don't see AI being accepted in this generation 100%. It's going to be, I think there's going to be a big chunk of people that are not fond of their personal data being looked at, because I think we got to be realistic. It's being looked at already. Everything that we have.
I was about to say.
But there's some people that are like, I take care of my stuff.
You know what it is? I think it's just
it's very transparent.
Having a tool like Gemini, I think it just shows you how real it can be. Like you open up your maps,
right,
and your location is pinpointed on the map. As soon as you open it up, you know how it shows the cursor of where you are. Yeah. It literally, as soon as you open it, it knows exactly where you are.
Yeah.
But there's not this like sense of it's almost like sentient. Like right, your phone doesn't have. You just open it up and you're like, oh yeah, my phone uses GPS and it knows where I'm at.
Right.
Whereas like this one, you're like. Yeah,
it's like always
a language model can look into my email and summarize it for me. It knows my calendar. It can talk back to me. And all this other stuff. So there's like a form of, I'm not gonna say sentience, but like whatever would be just below.
Well, I don't know,
right?
man. Have you seen? Alive. There's a clip going out there right now. There's how Chat GPT you can have a conversation with.
Yeah. Which you can do that now with Gemini too. Yeah.
Point being is you can have a back and forth conversation and it sounds like a human speaking to you.
Yes.
But it's not. There's this clip going around where there's this person is talking to the AI and the AI just yells no. And then it switches the voice to mimic the person talking to it. And it starts talking back in their own voice.
That's wild.
And then someone goes, bro, that's why I say please and thank you to my AI, because it's going to gain some consciousness and start taking over.
Yeah.
And it might be a glitch. It probably is a glitch of it trying to replicate or trying to predict what the person is actually going to say so it can start preparing an answer. So it can be something like that and it just glitched out and now it's taking the voice and kind of bringing it back. But it's so creepy, bro. It sounds like some Terminator kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. I'm assuming so that's the 9. We have the 9 Pro and the 9, the ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
The 9 Pro and the 9 Pro XL.
Which the 9, by the way, only has a 2 camera system.
Yeah.
Instead of a 3. 50 megapixel wide, 48 megapixel ultra wide with macro. So you get macro even on the
base model.
Yeah.
The entry. Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Huh.
I like that. And then we have, for the first time, whenever it comes to the 9 Pro or whenever it comes to the Pro phone, we now have 2 sizes.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool.
I think it's a good choice. I think it's a good call.
Yeah. So we have the Pro, which sits at 6.3 inches, and we have the Pro XL, which sits at 6.8.
Nice.
The Pro starts at $1,999, and the Pro XL starts at $1,199.
Okay.
Yeah. Both of those, interestingly enough, for I believe 128 gigs of base storage, which again, just please don't.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then the 9 Pro has a color called Rose Quartz.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know if I would daily a pink smartphone.
Sure, I would.
You would?
100%.
It looks so nice.
That kind of pink.
It looks so nice.
It has to be that kind of pink because if it's anything else, it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
But this is so. I mean, we have the rose gold iPhone. This is such a.
Did I ever have the rose gold iPhone? I don't think I did.
Maybe
the only
not.
the only gold iPhone
I
I
did.
had, the only gold iPhone I had was the 10s. Remember when they brought out like
like the actual gold looking,
like
yeah.
the very
The
sharp metallic
rose
gold.
gold, was that the 6S or the 6?
I think the rose gold was the 6S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the silver one then. But either way,
So you
I
didn't
would
rock it back then, bro.
Yeah, but dude, there's such a feeling of luxury when you have that rose gold that
And
actually looks like a soft tone. Because
Yeah.
I think if it's harsh, if it's anything super vivid, which you can apply for any color. If you have
Yeah.
something green that's just popping out and glowing, then you're not gonna like that.
Yeah.
So something that's super
And
soft,
I will
I'll
say,
take.
I think whenever the 6S's and like the 7s were around, it was much
Right.
more of like a neutral,
Back then,
like
having a
all
phone.
smartphones were neutral colors,
yeah.
right? It was almost like
Yeah.
the colors like the rose gold. I'm pretty sure even Apple maybe even made them in smaller numbers,
Probably.
like because they knew that. But now we're in a day and age where like
The one off that unique color is the one that sells the most.
heck yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's true.
Remember all the blue iPhones, 12 and 13, right?
Yeah.
And then was it the 11 that had that dark green?
Oh yeah,
That one
the
was
forest green.
yeah, that one was real nice. But yeah, so now we have the 9 Pro and we have the 9 Pro XL. Both phones come in 4 colors: porcelain, rose quartz, hazel, which I think would be the color that I would go with. It's almost like a greenish gray.
Oh, that's actually not bad.
Hazel is a really nice color, and then of course they have obsidian. So all of them have like black, white,
Right.
but then there's slight color variances. So it looks like the regular 9 gets a winter green, whereas the 9 Pros get hazel. Both of them have like a shade of pink.
Interesting that they don't have the exact same options for colors, like the color lineup.
I figured they're probably a little bit more experimental with the more
XL.
colorful colors. No, with the regular, because the regular 9
I
has
see.
like a much more vibrant pink,
Yeah.
and it has like a winter green.
Gotcha.
The 9 Pro has like a slightly toned down pink, like almost like a slightly washed pink,
I see.
and then a hazel, which is like a more neutral, like grayish green.
Gotcha.
So it feels like they're even still trying to keep it slightly toned for like their Pro models.
And they might be doing the same thing that Apple does, that keeps them more, I don't want to say professional colors, but something more soft
Yeah.
to the eye. Yeah.
Yeah. And then let's see. These come with Super Actua displays. The Pro XL is a 1344 by 2992 LTPO OLED. So that's like what, slightly above 2K?
Yeah.
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 Or something like that. Smooth display from 1 hertz to 120 hertz instead of 60 to 120.
Oh, gotcha.
So this one has like the higher end variable refresh rate where it can get as low as 1 hertz.
Right.
Right? So that's pretty good. 2000 nits HDR and up to 3000 nits peak brightness.
That's pretty good.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Right? That's insane. 9 Pro, 4700 milliamp hour battery. 9 Pro XL, these names are wild. 5060, so slightly above the industry standard.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
You don't see that often.
Yeah, no, you do actually, because it's the industry standard. 16 gigs of RAM, and then these models do go up to 1 terabyte.
And not the fold.
128, 256, 512, and 1 terabyte.
That's an interesting marketing decision.
Yeah.
I wonder if their excuse is something like, oh, well, it would be too expensive, so people wouldn't buy it anyway. But I don't know.
Fold?
Yeah, but if they're spending so much money already, like, bro,
Yeah.
what's a couple $100 more?
You know what, bro? On the Fold, what they should have done was 512 starts at $1,800.
Right.
And then 1919 or whatever, that should have been the 1 terabyte. If you're going to do a Fold and you're already expensive, don't even do 128 or 256. Just do 512 and 1 terabyte. Call it a day.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're only going to offer 2 storage options. Just do the 2 highest ones.
Right.
Whereas, like, when Samsung does it, they have 3 options, but it works up to 1 terabyte. 256, 512,
Right.
1 terabyte. That's fine as well. But picking the 2, like, middle-of-the-pack options for your most expensive device is...
It's an interesting...
Low-key kind of
it's an
wild.
interesting choice.
Yeah. Obviously, like, we're not CEOs or CTOs
Right.
at any of these companies, so it's probably above our pay grade. But at the same time, it just doesn't make too
Yeah.
much sense to me anyways.
No, I agree. I agree. But I mean, who knows? We'll see. We'll see what the numbers look like once it starts selling. And so here's the thing. I've seen foldable phones on the daily, but not as often as a normal smartphone.
Yeah.
But I wonder where the turning point will be, where you start seeing that just as much a normal smartphone, a slab design on a phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's gonna be a phone that it's either accessible and everyone's able to get one, and then everyone gets one, or just enough time passes where they have one or they get an older model that's cheaper, and then a lot of people have one.
Yeah.
I don't think I do think that it is increasing in popularity for sure, especially with the OnePlus Open last year.
Yeah.
And the Pixel Fold this year.
But they are starting to grow on me. Like, obviously I have the iPhone as like my main personal device.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're in a position like this, right? Like, we're really fortunate to do what we do.
Right.
Like, you can be a little bit more flexible with like the test phone, or like the
Like
line
your
that
backup
you use.
unit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like the line that you use for like
Right.
the channel specifically. You know what I mean? So like, why not use something like a foldable phone?
Right.
Especially if, like, I think Google is really going to do a good job trying to mimic like the cover display is an actual phone.
Yeah.
Same size as the 9 Pro. And then you open it up to an 8-inch display. Like, that's
The perfect 2-in-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is, I mean, I hope it seems like they nailed it. We'll see. We'll definitely try it out. I'll say it again. We'll test them out, make sure that you're subbed.
Yeah.
But we're also gonna do the watch and the new Pixel Buds, right?
Yes.
And
so
with
which
the watch,
which one you want to talk about? The watch?
I think the watch.
Okay. Yeah. Pixel Watch 3. Okay, comes in 2 sizes,
Okay.
right? 41 and 45. But then, just like the smartphones, they have like different colors based on which size you go with.
Gotcha.
Now, like, the bands are their own color, but they also do have colors for like the aluminum around the enclosure, which they're all aluminum, right?
Oh,
There's
I
no,
gotcha. No
there's no
stainless
other
steel.
material, right?
Yeah.
There's no stainless steel, there's no titanium. They're all
Gotcha.
aluminum. So on the 41 millimeter, you can get matte black aluminum, champagne gold aluminum, polished silver. Oh, and that's it. But like the polished silver comes with a couple different band colors.
Oh, like mix and match. I gotcha.
Yeah. So matte black, champagne gold, and polished silver.
Nice.
Right? That's for the 41.
Yep.
For the 45, you have matte black, polished silver, and then matte hazel.
Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder what that one's going to look like. And interestingly enough, that one, it says on here, comes with a hazel band as well. So I bet that would look, that with like a hazel Pixel 9 Pro XL would look
Perfect combo.
super clean.
That's crazy. That's
clean.
one I would get too.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
No, they look pretty cool. So 100% recycled aluminum for the housing, 41, 45, 2000 nits peak max brightness.
Dang.
Yeah, which I think Google said is like twice as bright as last year's Pixel Watch 2. So that's pretty dope. Then outside of that, I think a lot of the stuff that it comes with is pretty standard, right? And then I think Google's made some really good changes to like their health tracking and stuff like that too. So they mentioned, it reminded me a lot of the Whoop tracker, where now they're going to try to provide like insights into like your recovery and like how well you rested and like how intense your workouts have been in terms of like, so let's say you have an intense workout and then you also track like your sleeping or your rest.
Gotcha.
And then it'll give you some insight like the next day in terms of like,
I see.
this is what you might be able to handle based on like your rest and the impact your previous workouts have had and stuff like that.
And they didn't announce any fitness rings or anything like that, right?
A ring like Samsung, like the Galaxy ring? No.
Right. Gotcha.
No.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
No.
this is their aim at their health and fitness innovation of the year.
Yeah, I believe so. Which I mean, like, I'm willing to bet it's still going to be really good because Google owns Fitbit now too.
Oh, that's right.
So
that's right.
yeah. So like you can still buy Fitbit trackers from the Google website, but obviously they're going to use a lot of that technology and where Fitbit was in the space to kind of.
Yeah, helps a lot for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure
That's
once they
pretty
get
good.
around to it, probably by next year, I'm willing to bet once they get around to like having a ring, it should be pretty good.
Like a Fitbit ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And
So
in that one's how much?
So the 41 millimeter starts at $349, and then the 45 millimeter starts at $399. So regardless of which one you go with, it's under $400, which I think is dope. And then it also, that's that like classic round design.
Dude, and I do like that. I'll
Yeah.
give that to him because man, round watches are
The round watch is nice.
cleaner, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the round watch is nice. And then Pixel Buds 2. Right? Pixel Buds Pro 2 or Pixel Buds 2?
Yeah. And those, I mean, the Pixel Buds were already...
Pixel Buds Pro 2. Yep.
A good device. I remember when they first came out with the Pixel Buds Pro.
Yeah.
They were cool looking. They had great tech.
Yeah.
So what's new about them? Are those... Is it just like the new chip that they're...
Honestly, it feels
including?
It feels like they tried to do a lot. So they're lighter, they're smaller, right?
Gotcha.
They also have this like new mechanism in terms of like how it fits in your ear. Like you twist to like make it more secure while it's in your ear. And then you can twist it the opposite direction to make it like looser, or like they said like more comfortable if you're like wearing them around the house or something like that. But if you're working out, you can twist in your ear to secure them. We'll have to test.
Like you're drilling it into your ear, bro.
Yeah, we'll have to test and see how that goes. But lighter, smaller, and there is now the Tensor A1, which is supposed to help with both noise cancellation and audio quality.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and it says on here, A1 chip runs 90 times faster than the speed of sound to power twice the active noise cancellation and deliver premium sound. Active noise cancellation with Silent Seal 2.0 adapts to your environment 3 million times per second and cancels up to twice as much noise.
Dang.
Yeah. And these come in, I believe, 4 colors. So porcelain. Oh, hazel is one of them. That looks pretty dope.
Dang.
Hazel seems to be like the Hazel Watch phone, buds.
You're rocking it.
Yeah, you look pretty dope. Yeah. They do have the winter green.
It's just a good color too.
Yeah, and they do have the peony, which is like the pink, flamingo-ish kind of pink.
Yep.
I'd probably go hazel on these, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
They look dope.
Easily. Yeah.
And then these also do have Gemini built in.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, which, let me see. I think they, yeah. Talk to Gemini without taking out your phone. Get information or summary from your emails, walking directions, and go live with Gemini for brainstorming out loud.
Oh, like a phone call? Like you're talking to someone?
Yeah, like you'd probably be talking to Gemini about, I don't know, asking it to help put together like a workout routine.
Yeah.
Or like a YouTube music playlist for your workouts or something like that. Or like you could even use it for like planning and stuff like that too. Like plan an event or like plan a date or like plan a weekend or...
Imagine you're having a conversation with someone and then you're like, hey, Gemini, start listening and tell me, like, come up with some comebacks during the conversation. And then you're back and forth and they're like just feeding you info.
Well, I don't know if that would work with the noise cancellation.
Disable noise cancellation.
Yeah.
And start listening.
Yeah.
Bro.
But it would be pretty cool. Like, just imagine, like, if you're... I always just think to, like, the stereotypical, like, person who's, like, walking in, like, a crowded city, right? Like, a New York or something like that. And then they're just walking around and they're like, yeah, plan like a date for me to do this weekend or something like that. Or, like, plan, like, my dinner recipe based on, like, what I have at the house, and then you tell it what you have, and then it puts something together. I mean, it could be pretty helpful.
That's cool.
Do you actually let me ask you this, because I definitely don't, but do you wear headphones like when you're at home?
No,
I never wear. You know what I mean?
I didn't even think about it, but I don't. I don't.
Like,
I mean, because there's no need. I feel like headphones are more of like a public thing whenever you want to either listen to something privately or not be heard if you're on a phone call and like not pick up noise that's around you.
That's the thing is like I don't ever have my headphones in unless I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or like sometimes I'm at work, but I'll be using headphones for like calls, like meetings.
Right.
Yeah. But outside of that, and I hardly even like I have like HomePods and stuff in my house, but I hardly play too much music with them or whatever. So for them to market something like this in terms of like maybe you'll get more use out, like if you have your headphones in and then you open up your fridge and you're like, I don't know what to cook. And then you like tell it like, can you come up with like a dinner recipe with like XYZ ingredients that I have in my fridge? And then maybe it comes up and then it's telling you in your headphones like how to prepare it. Like
imagine, dude, Gemini's cooking and you're cooking.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
That actually like that might not be too bad.
I will try that.
That might not be
I will try
too
that.
bad.
Yeah.
We're obviously gonna
stay tuned because I'm gonna try it and I'll let you know what it says on the review.
Yeah. We're obviously going to get like all of the Pixel devices in-house, right? Including the buds and the watches and like the phones and stuff like that. So I think that's something that we'll have to try.
That was a good keynote.
For sure. It was. And the Pixel buds, by the way, start at $229.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, strategically $20 cheaper than Apple's AirPods Pro.
Which, even though they're always on sale somewhere, like you go to Target, Costco, whatever it is.
Last year, whenever the Pixel Buds launched, the first gen, you could find them on sale like Amazon like a month or two later.
Yeah, yeah. So, I'm excited. I do look forward to testing them out. But also, not only the Google products, there's so many products coming out. So
yeah, we have Apple's keynote.
Stay tuned because we're gonna have a lot of content coming out, new products. Apple's announcing.
We'll be
September
be bringing out some stuff here pretty soon too.
iPhone 16.
And we're like already midway through August.
Yeah, there's so much.
Yeah, and we still have the rest of the. Don't get me started on Samsung right now, but we still have the rest of like the stuff from Samsung coming in.
The lineup that they announced. Yeah. We still gotta review that.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of stuff coming down the pipe. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast episode 4, right?
Of the Tech Bro Talk.
Revenge of the Sith. That's episode 3.
A New Hope. I'm disappointed, dude. I'm so disappointed. But I'll forgive you.
It's okay. I wanted to make the whole lightsaber thing that we were just.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to make the
reference.
Yeah. I'm more of a prequel than a sequel guy, anyways. So.
Oh. Don't subscribe if you like the sequels more than the prequels. Oh, geez, though. Anyway. Off topic. Make sure you stay tuned. We do have a lot of content. We're really excited. Thank you for the support. Can't do it without you.
We broke 14,000.
Dude.
So you guys have been killing it.
Thank you.
If you're new here, if you've been watching since the beginning, we really appreciate each and every single one of you. So share with your friends, family, loved ones. Hit subscribe if you're new. And we'll see you guys very, very soon.
Till the next one.
Yep. Peace.
Later.